I've got the F16 stick, as you can kind of see here in the middle, running, and I did buy the shake kit. I've just turned it off. It's fine. I wanted the extra buttons. As you can see from this, is not a standard F16 stick because this is a 4-way and a push. And then you have 2 extra 4-way and a pushes added to it. Plus there is a push on the TMS. So that's kind of helpful. There's also this big trigger here on the front. It's kind of out of the way, but it's not too bad, as you can see. And one really cool thing that they did down here for your lever, which is the standard button to disconnect your nozzle steering and your autopilot, etc., is they made it, as you can see, a slider. So for those Russian planes, if you wanted to use it for that, you actually have a slider there to use as the brake, which is kind of nice if you're flying the L-39 or something. One of those ones. Alright. I'll say alright a lot. Spark plug will laugh. So here we go. Here is my selection. So force and displacement, force only, fully realistic. I've set a value of 13% and I've taken off half the force. This is 6 kilograms is quite a lot. Especially for if you had this connected to a desk, you'd probably pull it off the desk, to be quite honest. So I'm first of all just going to show you the good and the bad. So over here, my y-axis rather is the stick. So you can see. We can do this, and then you can see it fully. So this is me pulling. All right. Notice the step. There is a step. This is where the movement the first bit of movement has finished and the force takes over. It gives you a bit of a force against yourself, so there is a little bit of a hesitation. Alright, I'll show you again and you'll see it's exactly the same. Now, you'd say, well, you could get rid of that, right? You can get rid of that. I will unzoom the curve. And I will now show you if I go to force only. Alright, so now we're force only. So now it just goes straight force that you can see here. The output is the blue line, the input is the force sensor data. Now there is a dead spot. Oh, hang on, that's not working. That's how I actually had it before. Disregard. You have to set complete before it actually takes any of your bloody inputs, which is really annoying because then you have to go back to the page. Winwing, fix that. That's ridiculous. Leave me on this page till I quit. Thank you. Alright, so this is it in force only. The problem is there is a big, that says 0% there, but you have to move the stick and it's approximately, just about all of its movement before it starts sensing force. This is a little bit of an issue because any dead zone means you're ending up being a crap pilot because you'll have problems controlling the pitch. If I go to fully realistic mode, which says designed for extremely hardcore gamers. Well, I don't know. Obviously, as those who've watched my channel know, I've been a pilot for 40 years. Now just work in the simulator. I've never used a force stick. I've never flown an Airbus except for my interview with my current airline for my simulator job, where they actually put me in an A320 and had me fly it around. It was weird, but it was fine, and the stick was actually quite intuitive. It wasn't bad at all. So they've made this almost impossible to fly. I do not believe that this is realistic, though having said that, I haven't had the chance to get my buddy over who flew F-16s to have a look at it. I will eventually. So there's a big dead spot in the middle where you move the stick and then you hit the force thing and then it starts to move. This is a disaster when it comes to flying. So I have tried flying it like that, and I will give you a demo of that at the end. Now I'm going to go back to my force and displacement. My value was 13%. I've tried 10, 20, 30, 40. 13 gives me enough movement for close formation. Alright, before I get the dead spot. So if you put it up to 40, you'll get a lot more movement, but it becomes very pitchy before the force takes over. So, as I said, you have to set this, you have to set to complete so you can actually see what it's doing. Oh, you know what? Let me go back. I'll just show you, let's just show you fully realistic mode. Set to complete. I'll zoom the curve out. Watch this. This is, oh, there you go. I barely touched the stick and it went full scale deflection. That is with, I don't know, hardly any force on it whatsoever. Even I put up 6 kilograms. You see, that is impossible to fly. There is just no way. Now, maybe there's something else going on that I don't know about. Unfortunately, there are no instructions. I sent an email to Winwing about it. Where are the instructions? Anyway, so that's what it looks like. If I go to force only mode, which is actually the same as setting 0 on there. Now we'll zoom the curve out. Alright, now this is not so bad. And notice there is no step. There's no step as I get. But the problem is, the gap, this is me coming back down, hit the middle. That flat bit, I was still moving my hand throughout that, going from front to back. That is the dead zone in the middle where the force doesn't read. I believe the force should read all the time. So, I was moving my hand constantly here. Yeah, you can see that this to this is almost the same, right? I was just constantly moving it, gradually putting more force in. But there's a dead gap where the force doesn't read. That is a major problem when you're flying a plane. Alright. We'll go back to that. I'll get rid of the zoom. Alright, so now we'll go back to where I have the thing set. Current value 0. Why? Because I put it to force only. 0 is force only. I put it back to 13%. And we'll go and have a look at how I flail around tanking in this setup. So we'll have one more go. I'll hold my hand in a weird position there so you can kind of see it a little bit better. And let's see. So this is 520 knots, alright. Full burner going in, holding the green donut. Just about there. We won't black out. There we go. So it's not bad. It works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. That's full scale deflection there. That's a full aileron roll. Alright. Oh, said it again. Spark plug. And here we go. So that's a quick bit of video of how much the stick actually moves. Now, this movement here is enough for me to fly close formation without really using much of the force sensing. Alright, now let me get us going in the right direction. Right, I'm not going to pause it this time. We're going to go and bring up that. Zoom curve that out. Alright. Oh. I guess we lose input. I didn't realize that. That's a shame. Okay. Alright. Well, anyway, you can see that's full aileron. That's full elevator. Yeah. There we go. Alright. Yeah, maybe we'll leave that going for a minute. And I'll leave some video in there and I'll chuck it in at the end for you. So there'll be a gap. And then I'll put this on at the end if you want to see a circuit. My circuits are pretty crap in the F16, mind you. So any F16 drivers out there, don't give me any shit. It's a game, alright? It's not the same as the real thing. Alright. So, We'll do an RAF brake. Yeah. Yes, I saw the... Yeah, alright. Oh yeah, if anyone ever tells you... Alright, you always brake away from the tower. Don't listen to anyone who says you don't. There's a very good reason for that. Alright, so that tower can see everybody landing on the runway and everybody downwind. They don't want to be looking backwards and forwards. So, I once heard someone say that you brake around the tower. No, complete bollocks. I'm sorry, but it's not true. Oh dear, my wingman just ejected. Alright, so here we go. So we're running in and... oh, that'll do. Alright. I'll try and put the video to where you can see what's going on. As in, I'll meld them. Oh, shoot. Problem with not being in VR, it's a lot harder to see what you're doing when you turn in the brake. That was a bit tight. Ooh, very tight. Alright, well, we'll use some altitude for that instead then. Okay. Alright, looks better. Alright, this is going to be a really wonky ass turn, I'm afraid. Lots of alpha. Good 5 degrees down. Where are we doing? Nothing yet. This problem in VR, you can look, glance around and see it straight away. Oh, speed, speed, speed. That's terrible, terrible, terrible. Alright, well, there you go. Alright, anyway, we rolled out on final, so that's okay. What a mess. Anyway, we'll fix it. So, that's an F16, right? Don't really have to trim, which is kind of weird. Anyway. Oh, hey, come on, get back on speed. Yeah. There we go. Now we got it. Oh, oh, oh. Well, it was smooth, even if it was ugly. Alright, let's get these things braked. So, how about a quick summary while we're rolling out? I paid approximately $160 extra to get this stick with the MFSSB sensor in it. So, would I advise anyone? Well, I don't think the realistic bit is realistic at all, as I've shown you. The fact that the force doesn't start immediately, there's that bit of movement before it hits, is kind of annoying. In fact, I might be able to show you that now because of the way it was built. So I'll match the stick. So here's me moving the stick. That's the hitting the force, and now it actually responding. So the trick is, how would you fly something that required a delicate touch without messing around like that? So that part of it I don't like. The good news is, well, you can always get rid of it and make it a regular one. You might have wasted $180, it's up to you. So I hope you find that useful. Let me think, what did I not point out? Yeah, while I'm at it, this here sets the amount that the movement has, that first bit of movement. So you see that bit of blue, that's the first bit of movement that I've got there as I pull back, and then that's the force starting there, which gives me that dead spot. And I'll put that video in so you can see it. So that tiny bit of movement there, that is all dead zone. I'll show you in roll because it'll probably be more obvious there. That's going to be 0, 0, 0 if you just use the force. And now, only now is it registering. So you need this part. You need this bit. It just doesn't work without it. I'm sorry. So you have to really use the force plus displacement mode. Yeah. Now, is it unusable? No, I don't think it is like that. And you've seen my settings. Anyway, I hope you find that helpful. Cheers. Bye. Okay, so here it is. This is the F16 MFSSB from Winwing with the shake kit attached. The shake's turned off in the settings. I realised I hadn't really shown this in this video, so I've redone it. Apologies for the light. We're going to go down here. So this is a lever with 4 buttons on it. This is a push with 4-way on it. Now the base itself looks exactly the same as the base that's got the F18 Winwing on it. As I mentioned later on, the MFSSB does have the parts, so you can take the force part out of it. One last thing I'll do, and you'll see more of this in the video, is I'll show how much it moves. That's it. That is as much as it moves. Alright, I think that'll do. And now we'll get into the rest of the video now that you've kind of seen the setup. Oh, for those of you with the Next Level Racing rig, I should pull back and say that I've changed the mount. Actually fits onto the other mount, the side mount. This front mount can only go here. It's slightly low maybe, but not enough to really bother me. I've used it for about, I don't know, 6 hours now.